Now that we've learned to have fun with our sewing machine, we've learned some new tricks, let's give our little baby a little tender, loving care. You need to keep your machine maintained for it to give you the best service. You don't always have to lug it into your closest dealer for full service, and so I'm going to show you some of the basic things that you can do to keep your machine happy. So let's roll up our sleeves. I've got my machine sitting on a very old table. The first thing that we're going to do is to disassemble the machine. So that means bring out your screwdriver. Now this is my little hammer. This is in my sewing kit. I use this all the time, and the first thing I'm going to do is get one of the screwdrivers and start taking the machine apart. Now, different sewing machines have different methods of taking the top off, and on the older basic machines you'll find usually two screws about this position that hold the top in place. This is a little bit newer model and I see no screws. However, if I lift the handle, I will find that I have screws here and here. So let me get these screws loosened. I'm going to come over here and loosen this screw. We'll take our thread off and we pull straight up. This way I keep the screws inside the handle or inside the top and they don't get lost. Now that the top is off, let's take off the side panel. So let me turn the machine around. Now a little bit about this particular machine. It has what we call an enclosed belt. You can't see this. You may have a machine with the balance wheel here and the belt coming out this direction with an exterior motor out here. So you may not have to get to this area at all. But I want to because I want to check the belt tension on this machine. On this particular model, there's one screw. Again, you may have two screws. But usually, the side panels do come off. Now, I've got the screw in here. I'm going to kind of hold on to it as I lift out. So again, my screw stays in place. This is typical of a newer style of design with a completely enclosed motor, which is down here, and belt. Okay. Now we're going to go to the other side of the machine and take that apart. Okay, this is the side cover. Usually you'll find a screw here also. Let's loosen that. Now again, I'm going to hold that kind of in place as I lift off. There we go. The screw stays inside. This is much easier. You'll thank me for this later. Okay, now we're going to turn the machine so that it's facing us once more. And we're going to remove the needle plate and the presser foot. So we'll lift the presser foot. Let's remove the foot. We're going to look at that in a minute. Let me take off this accessory tray here. And on this needle plate, I have two screws to remove. So we'll come over here and loosen this screw. If you've never taken your needle plate off, or if you've had it on for many, many years, that screw can be very, very tight. It's going to be very important that you get the width of screwdriver that's as close to the size of that screw as possible. Sometimes, just the way a machine is designed, you might need a real long screwdriver to get to that, because it's sometimes at kind of an angle. I find that if I either open up the side plate or completely remove the side plate, I get better access. As you can see, it's a little bit of an angle to get in here, but it would be impossible to get to this screw if I hadn't taken off that side cover first. Again, I loosen the screw and let it just sit here for now. Now on this side, my screwdriver is not going to let me get in to get that screw, but my screwdriver has magic. Let's try this one. Oh yes. Okay, here we go. So let's just loosen that screw. Then I'll use the tip of the screwdriver just to very lightly pry that plate up. I'm holding the screws inside, and we'll take that off to the side. We'll look at all of these things later. The last thing that we're going to do is to open up the bobbin case area. Let's take out the bobbin case. And now we'll deal with this a little bit later. And I want you to notice what this area is called. This is a very, very important area of your sewing machine. This is called the race assembly. And this is something that needs attention. To get to this race assembly, basically all that we have to do is to loosen those two fingers. The problem is everything falls out, and sometimes it's confusing how it all came out and how it all goes back together. So what I always do is I get a roll of paper towels, I put it to the back of my machine, then I tilt the machine back, resting on the paper towels, and then I take it apart. That way I can kind of identify each part as I remove it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to move this little finger up. Don't move these down, move them up and to the outside. This finger now we're going to move up and to the outside. Got it? Next I'm going to go in here with my fingernail, pick up, I'm sorry, I know my hands are in your way, pick up the retaining ring. This is called the retaining ring. Okay? Put that off to the side. The next thing I'm going to do is reach in and by the spindle pick up the shuttle hook. That is known as a shuttle hook. And what you see left is part of the machine. This does not come out. This is called the shuttle driver. Now that we've got the machine totally taken apart, we're going to blow out a lot of the garbage that's collected in here. Now you can use these spray bottles, cans of air. The thing is, don't shake them. Don't shake the bottle. Don't shake the can. Don't invert it. Pretty much spray in real short little bursts. I'm going to come around the machine. What I'm doing now, I'm just kind of loosening all the areas. You don't want to shake this again. I'm going to turn it aside here and give this a couple of... Okay, that looks good there. It's really... You want to pay special attention to this area. This seems to collect a lot of lint and stuff. Come down to this area here where the feed dogs are. Give that a real good blast. Bobbin case. Okay. So now we've got everything sprayed out. If you find you've got a lot of buildup, a lot of things flying around, what you want to do is get the little mini vacuum set of tools and vacuum it out. So I kind of do a two-fold approach. Use the air to dislodge, use a little mini set of vacuum tools to suck up the residue. And you'll have